This sode would not be possible without the support of our listeners, patrons, and sponsors. If you'd like to learn more about supporting the 3-Bit Gamer Show, check us out on Patreon at patreon.com/3BG. And a huge thanks goes out to our boss-level patrons, Christopher and Patrick. Are you tired of eating the same old cookie?
Yuck, Mom! Pumpkin raisin again?
I'm sorry. It's all we can afford.
Who's that?
It's me, Chip Craven, the Crave Cookies mascot, and I'm here to kick boring cookies in the nuts.
Okay, so that last part.
Yeah, with Chip Craven. He's cool, right?
Yeah, he's cool and all. I'm just not sure about his last name.
Why? It's like Crave Cookies, but as a guy.
Can't he just be called Chip Crave?
Chip Crave? No. That's dumb. His name is Chip Craven.
Yeah, okay, and about his tagline, though.
Right? That's the best part. Because cookies have nuts and,
Yeah, we've never actually made a cookie with nuts, though.
Exactly. That's why Chip's always kicking them.
Yeah, no. I'm back on board. This is a very good ad.
See?
Okay, fine. We'll run it.
You've just logged into the 3-Bit Gamer Show. Welcome to the 3-Bit Gamer Show. I'm JD.
This is Peterson.
And this is Trent.
And this is Chip Craven.
And we brought Chip back! Hey, Chip!
Where those
Chip.
Where are those nuts at?
Dude, that's your new
Chip
slogan.
Craven. Dude, what does he look like?
Where's those nuts at?
I don't know.
I don't know, when he
Nuts
wears a
at.
mask, he has to wear a mask with a tagline like that. He doesn't want anybody to be able to identify him.
Especially the police.
I kind of envision him like the Hamburglar.
Exactly. Live from the 3-Bit Gamer Show. The news. All right, our news this week is brought to us by Chip Crave. Crave Cookies is this amazing cookie shop here in Midvale or Murray, Utah. And they have the most absurd cookies you could ever imagine. And
Getting more absurd by the day.
Goodness. You guys, I mean, I can tell you about them, but you should just go look at it at cravecookies.com. The first thing you see is this gigantic picture of what your mind immediately knows, but doesn't know how, that it's a Twix cookie. I just know, just looking at it, that it's a Twix. Oh, it's because there's Twixes in the foreground. Ooh, it's subliminal marketing. That's another good ad. This is a good ad. So you guys have the Twix this week, the Biscoff explosion, and then this cookie, which I really don't think should be legal to make. You took a Brookie and you just stuffed it with Rolos, Reese's Pieces, and Snickers.
Dude, it's such a mess. It's so good.
Yeah,
you got peanut butter and caramel and chocolate. Oh.
It's
all the messy
oozing
stuff
out of your cookie, and it's a mess.
Look, man, no one's trick-or-treating, but if you eat one of these cookies, that is actually the sugar equivalent of an entire Halloween. So just go to Crave Cookies. They have DoorDash. You guys have delivery and Uber Eats. You can find them at cravecookies.com. Okay, so we got listener questions this week, so we're going to try to cruise through our news as quickly as possible because we had a ton of awesome questions. So yeah, let's just get started. This is pretty funny because I feel like they're just flexing on Modern Warfare, but the latest Fortnite patch, just casual. This was not promoted. I feel like it was just like slipped in there like, oh yeah, by the way, we're going to go ahead and reduce the game down to 30 gigabytes.
From 90.
Currently, they don't even mention that. Like, currently the game is at 90. Like, whoever wrote the article, I'd like, go look that up because it wasn't like in the press release. They're like, oh yeah, we'll just make it 30. So, like, you could be like, oh, well, I wonder if it's like a little bit. Nope, it was 90. So, compared to Modern Warfare, which is 2,000 terabytes, Fortnite just keeps getting smaller and more efficient. Go figure.
It can be done. But that is
It's
the
possible.
ultimate flex because now the kids, they don't have to be like, oh gosh, what game do I need to delete so I can delete Fortnite, which is what they have to delete everything so they can play Warzone. Now Fortnite, they're like, look, it's a cool 30 gigs, you get all the content, no problem. Whereas in Warzone, I don't know, it just feels like less, but it's just one map, same dudes, not even a ton of different skins. I don't know what they're doing.
So our next one is Blursty Watch.
Yep.
We have a guy that just, I don't know, sometimes this was like the Citizen Kane of Blursties. Like, this guy just went nuts. I don't know what he was thinking. This guy's name's Alex Hutchinson. Is somebody that if you haven't heard of him, I won't be surprised. He worked as a creative director for a couple studios, most recently an indie studio that was acquired by Google. So he had the unfortunate title on Twitter of creative director at Google Stadia when he tweeted the unfortunate tweets. I'll just read them. Streamers worry. This was out of fucking nowhere too. It's not like someone was poking this guy to do this. He was just like, you know what? Today is the Blursty
I've been thinking
day.
about this a lot, and I gotta put it out there.
He's just, yeah.
The people
And this
need
is the
to
best
know.
part. It's the best part about social media. Like, at any point, not unlike a Tibetan monk, someone can just pour gasoline on themselves and just be like, "Attention, I need it." So this is him doing that. He says streamers worried about getting their content pulled because they've used music they didn't pay for should be more worried by the fact that they're streaming games they didn't pay for as well. It's all gone as soon as publishers decide to enforce it. The real truth is that streamers should be paying the developers and publishers of the games they stream. They should be buying a license like any real business and paying for the content they use. So basically what this clown revealed is he's the kind of person that calls an Uber driver a business. He's like, "Oh, that's your business? Tight, man. Good hustle. Pulling yourself up by your bootstraps." What a fucking clown.
Dude, so this guy, like you said, he brought this upon himself. Of course, we are here for it. Could not get enough. The comments on his tweets were just pure gold from start to finish. But yeah, this guy wants streamers to pay for a license to stream a game, which is wild, right? That is like, I understand the premise that he's coming from, right? Because if you want to use
but
music,
I agree. I agree that the clampdown on copyrighted music is equally silly, though. Like, they're both cracking down on something that's a really good business tactic for both of those places. There's tons of bands that grew purely from people like illegally recording and sharing their music. So it's just a stupid policy.
That's true. You know, it is in the day of the internet when, let's be honest, a lot of bands, especially smaller ones, are probably making as much money off of, YouTube and SoundCloud or whatever they're putting their music on. They're probably getting more exposure and stuff from there than like people going to the record store and buying the cassette tape and then burning it for all their friends, right? Which was like the only
100%.
music.
But also, like,
ago.
a popular Twitch streamer plays one of your songs that's not very well known, and you're going to have a bunch of people go look it up.
Yeah. So what I'm saying is, in the digital age, you kind of want your stuff out there, right? You kind of want people to be using it, so then other people hear it on different mediums, right? They hear it on a podcast, for example, and they're like, "Oh, that song was sick," and then they're like, "I want to check this out." And if it wasn't so taboo, you'd have more people, creators, actually tagging the artists in it and being like, "Hey, check out this song from so and so." Instead, they're all worried about getting their stuff pulled. So this is crazy, though, because games, I would argue, games get more publicity from streamers than anywhere else. Right? Where else
people brought this up because it wasn't like he just tweeted these two things and then was like logged off. No, this guy committed like the grand Twitter sin, which is like doubling, tripling, and quadrupling down.
Oh yeah.
Which is like, when you're like a little kid and you're standing in the ocean, like punching the waves, like, oh, I can stand up against this wave. You can only do that so long, right? Because the ocean's not going to stop. And this guy eventually realized the ocean wasn't going to stop, and he quit. But before he quit, a lot of people were pointing out to him the economies that are created by Twitch streamers that make games out of nothing, that were like Among Us and Fall Guys, that had no real player base, that blew up and took off overnight. Yep. That doesn't happen if those streamers had to pay those developers or those publishers. Which, by the way, his other point, which was so ridiculous, was like, creators should be getting a cut of that. And the other point that everyone was making was like, well, they won't. The people that will be getting it will be the executives at the top, who will be like, thanks for all the bonuses. We're gonna. If you think that's gonna trickle down to the creatives that are actually making these titles, you are pretty naive.
No, that's extremely naive, because that's 100% on the studio at that point, and not on the develop the people on their computers actually developing the game itself, right? They will have nothing to do with licensing, right? That's nothing to do with them. So that's all corporate, and that's not going to make anyone money but the executives and the vice presidents.
So ultimately, this guy he ended up changing his Twitter bio after he kind of went off the grid. He removed Google from it because, as people learned quickly, he has nothing to really do with Google Stadia. He's, like I said, he's one of the, I think they scooped up a couple indie studios just to say that they were making games at Google, which, just silly people throwing them out around money. And this guy can't wait to put Google on his Twitter bio, because that makes him feel cool. He's so legit. And the condescending comments he was writing to people on Twitter were just like so infuriating, because it was just like he was like objectively wrong and he was being such a cock about it. God, dude, it was just the worst. So,
and by the worst, you mean the best.
The blurst.
Because we actually got to enjoy this disaster.
Yeah, this was tight. So he's gonna go. I don't know. We'll consider him. He's definitely under consideration for a nomination, a Blursty nomination for least favorite character. I would say he's probably a shoo-in for worst decision.
Worst decision. We could even bend it a little bit and put it in for worst writing.
Yeah. It is some pretty terrible writing. So, keep your eyes out, folks. Blursties are coming up in just a couple months, and this guy knows it. It's Blursty season, and keep your nose to the grindstone, because there's going to be a lot more like this. I'm sure that they're just trying to sneak in under the wire. Happens every year. Okay, so speaking of a permanent Blursty nom, again, please, Facebook, just stop making me have to talk about you on this podcast. Really quick, I'm not going to go too far into it. It's just a brief update on the Facebook Oculus story we've been following. The latest update is that if you delete your Facebook account for any reason, it will also delete any Oculus purchases you've made and then brick your Oculus. So basically this is like, they've really like it's unbelievable how locked in they want you to be on this, that if you were an Oculus user who did not have a Facebook account before, you jump through all their hoops, you send them a picture of your license plate and a blood and a hair and a semen sample, and then they finally verify your account, and then somewhere down the road you're like, I don't really want Facebook anymore. Well, they're gonna turn your Oculus into a paper.
You've lost it all.
It's all gone.
Like,
all the stuff you purchased before your Facebook account is gone if you ever delete it. So they're forcing, oh my God, the forced behavior with this is
they are shooting themselves in the foot.
I can't.
Right?
I can't. I don't know.
I feel like any other headset now looks way better than the Oculus. Mm-hmm. Even though the Oculus Quest is probably the best out there for the experience.
It is.
But
for
people
the
are
price
think twice now, because they're going to be like, well, I don't want to I don't want the risk that's involved with this.
Yeah.
So I don't know, man.
That's so weird. And then this last one. Did someone send this to us?
Yeah, this has nothing to do with video gaming, but we've talked about Fire Festival several times on the show because it
the best.
Oh man, it's so good. It's
the
so good.
Best.
So Fire Festival mastermind Billy McFarland, he's in prison for his Fire Festival fraud.
Fire Fest.
He's created a podcast. Of course he has. From prison. It is called, by the way, this is maybe one of the best podcast names, let's be honest.
Yeah, seriously.
It is called Dumpster Fire. And if you're not familiar, the fire in Firefest is FYRE, and that's how he spells it in this. It is, oh man, what a great name. Dumpster Fire.
Dude, looks from like the Instagram that he posted that like he's got the, his weird con man hustle mentality. It was not in any way tamped down by his experience with Firefest, and if anything, it just kept going stronger. Like he hit prison fucking running, man. He was like already trying to figure out how he could make prison work for him. Like shit.
Oh man, so I can't wait to see what he does. You
can't hold Billy McFarland down, man. He will be conning until the day he dies. He will be on his deathbed, and the nurse will come over, and he'll be like, "Nurse, come here. I have to ask you something." And she'll lean over, and he'll ask her something, and she'll walk off, and he'll just like kind of wink at the camera because he just lifted $5 out of her pocket, and then it'll just beep, and he's like, "That's how I fucking want to go out." Billy McFarland always be grinding. He's just always grinding.
Dude, this guy's great. Like I said, I really can't. I know this sounds bad, but I'm kind of excited to see what he does when he gets out of prison because he'll do something and it'll be ridiculous, he'll be conning like rich 20-somethings again. I don't know, man. Dude. I am in for this. He's never going to get my money. That's the thing. Like I'm not going to fall for Billy McFarland, but other people falling for it, I'm in. I don't know.
Making documentaries about it. As long as he keeps documenting,
love watching people
like
get
literally
scammed.
Everything he does in his life, like it'll be a good time. We'll have a good time. All right, Kudos is our positivity segment. We like to give a shout out to something we're into, and you guys, I just watched the new Witches. The one that's on HBO just came out this year. It's got Anne Hathaway and
wait, the movie's already out?
Yeah, it's on HBO.
Out, man.
Oh, I saw the trailers. I didn't know the movie was out. Nice.
Yeah, dude. It's I was surprised too. I just happened to like see it when I was just browsing through HBO. But yeah, it's got Anne Hathaway, Octavia Spencer, Stanley Tucci, and it's just kind of a remake of I don't even know if it's necessarily a remake or just like a different adaptation of the Roald Dahl.
Yeah, it takes the story and does something else with it.
Which is really cool because instead of being set, the book and the first one, I believe, was set between Norway and England. But this one is set in Alabama in like the 50s or 60s.
Oh, nice.
It's cool. And like the change of venue is like, it fits really well and they do a really good job. I have seen very mixed reviews on this film, and I read them, and honestly, some of them were like the most self-indulgent, fart-sniffing garbage nonsense. So just don't listen to the reviews. Ignore all those assholes who have nothing better to do right now but sit home and just fart in their own hands. No, listen to this review, JD's review. Never smelled my own farts over here, JD. You can trust me. The Witches on HBO is tight. You will like it. That's from the heart. And there's no like $5 words in there. So yeah, check it out.
All right. I do want to watch it. I don't know how this works. I have HBO, but like I have to use the app to watch it. So I don't know.
Yeah.
But I'm going to watch it with the kids.
I have it on like my smart TV. Just logged in there.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to watch it, and then I got sick of it, and then I'll do it another night.
Oh wait! Don't watch this with your kids. Screen it first. It is haunting. There are some scenes
like
where Anne
more
Hathaway's
haunting
arms...
than the original.
Yes, people disagree with me.
The original terrified me.
The original is pretty terrifying,
Scary.
like, but it's like Jim Henson scary, so it's always like grounded in the reality that like these are like 3 foot tall Muppets. But this one, there's a scene multiple times where Anne Hathaway's arms get longer, and they do so by breaking and like growing and then breaking and then growing repeatedly. It is haunting. It is pretty intense body horror shit, so just be aware. Maybe screen it before watching it with anyone under 10.
Well, my 13-year-old is my scaredy cat, so I would probably watch it alone first, I guess.
Yeah, like I could see. Well, and then I went back and watched the original, which I had never seen before. I watched the 1991.
Wait, you've never seen it?
No, I was actually asking. I was interrogating my family, my siblings, and my parents. Like, why? How did this like miss my? Because I was born 2 years before the movie came out, so like it wasn't really in my my area. But then I guess there was I just never saw it. It was like one of my sister's favorite movies. I just missed the boat on it. But watching it, I could see how it would have fucked me up. That movie
as a little kid,
the
beginning when the witches are like stalking the kids and stuff, dude, that scared me so bad.
The witch stomp one of the other witches when she's a mouse.
Yeah,
like God.
Yeah, no, it's yeah, there were some scary parts, but all in all, the movie is so good. I loved it.
Yeah, the new one's tight, but yeah, maybe not for kids.
Okay, good. No, I'm definitely gonna watch it. Okay, so I have a quick one. Guys, I found a new snack. First, let me tell you how we got it. My kids, or someone gave my kids, my oldest, like a snack box from like a subscription service, but it was like the international snacks, and it was all Korean. And so we were just going through testing it and trying all the stuff, and there was this pack of like dry seaweed snacks, roasted seaweed snacks. And I was like, ooh, I love seaweed crackers and stuff like that. So I opened it up, and it's just like seaweed. It's not like a cracker or anything. It's just like a really paper-thin piece of dried, crackly seaweed, lightly salted. And I was like, okay, I taste it. Obsessed immediately. My kids were like, I want to taste it. And I was like, get out of here. This is for me. You guys don't get this. But I did find them on at Smith's. So they have them at Smith's, different brand. There was a couple different types at my Smith's. Got them both. They're so cheap. Like one pack was like 95 cents or something. Dirt cheap. Fantastic. I love them so much. If you like that seaweed flavor, you know, like the seaweed wrapped crackers and stuff like that, I love it. And so I cannot get enough of these things. And I start eating them, and I'm just like, well, here I go. I'm now going to eat this full pack of roasted seaweed snacks.
Seaweed.
Dude, I'm telling you, just find one, pick it up for 95 cents, see if you like it, because it hits the spot for me. It's a little salty, really seaweedy, and you don't feel gross at all because it's just like paper. I don't know, eating green paper.
Just eating paper.
Dude, I'm telling you, it's so good.
Dude,
Lily
I'll
eats them, and
I'll
she
try
calls
it.
them. Do it. Lily eats them. She just calls them paper. Dad, can I eat some of that paper?
They can have some paper.
Okay.
I'm on the paper diet. I can only eat paper, but I can eat as much paper as I want.
And I can flavor it.
So there's not like a brand that I'm aware of that is like better than others. Just roasted seaweed snacks. I found it in the like Asian food section in Smith's, and absolutely fantastic. Check out the roasted seaweed snacks. Make sure they're slightly seasoned, otherwise it would be weird.
Yes. Just just chew it straight out of the ocean. You don't need to season them. They're seasoned by the ocean.
The ocean is salty, so you just pull it out and start chewing.
And depending what processing plant it's downriver of, it's a different flavor on every coast. A little bit of heavy metals. Okay, so let's start. We've got some listener questions. You guys crushed it on these. if we don't get to your question, I promise we have it logged away and we will get to it later.
Any questions?
Yes. I was wondering, what's the recommended amount of dedicated RAM I should have to a server?
So we'll just start with, we had one from Garrett Bracken on Facebook, and he asks Halloween appropriate questions. He said, if you're going to dress up as a video game character, who would you go as? I feel like this is so open. I didn't feel any limits to it. And I was like, oh, this is like a genie style question where I get whatever I want.
Any character
ever. I'm gonna go as the Big Daddy from BioShock.
Oh,
on the whole big
you
suit.
are really going there.
Yeah, I'm tromping around. I'm just like huge and terrifying. I'm going trick or treating. No one can prove I'm not a child. No one wants to.
Just get out of my driveway.
Yeah,
please.
Yeah. Even if you're afraid of COVID, when this guy comes marching up in like this super deep sea diving suit from the 50s, you're like, oh no, he's safe. He's fine.
Tight. Yeah, I don't like. If I saw a Big Daddy walking around in my neighborhood, I'd go get pictures with them. I would assume it was not a child because the costume would weigh as much as 2 children.
Maybe it is
it's
two
children.
Maybe it's like those on each
shoulders.
other's shoulders. Yeah. That'd be amazing.
It's 3 owls in a trench coat in a Big Daddy costume. So yeah, with this one, I went, dude, you got to go, for me, I got to go recent. I feel like all Halloween costumes, when you're an adult, have to be in the zeitgeist at the moment. So Johnny Silverhand from Cyberpunk, that's Keanu Reeves' character. Super
sick.
easy. Just got to get, I mean, if you don't have long hair already, you need to get a long brown wig. You need a pair of aviators. You need some sort of like tactical looking vest and a metal arm, just so, make your arm metal. So it's not an easy costume because you got to have the metal arm. But other than that,
you have professional cosplayers making your costume, though. That's one of the rules, I think.
Dude, I'm a Big Daddy.
Yeah.
Johnny Silverhand. Then I'm lazy though. Can you imagine me planning a costume like
just like made of cardboard with like Sharpie writing stuff in?
Look, no, I'd be like,
easy.
okay,
it's easy.
Kids,
Look,
spray paint my arm silver. Just spray paint it directly onto my arm.
Guys, don't even spray paint it. Just use silver Sharpie.
You don't need to make all this. You don't need to go through all this effort. Just look in the back of your closet and dig out if you have like an old Winter Soldier costume. You can just repurpose that. You just put the arm on the other side.
Yeah, like couple years ago, if you were a Winter Soldier, there you go.
Yeah, just reuse it. Duh. Okay, Trent, do you have a costume?
Yeah, dude. If I get like the professional cosplay rules, I want a legit Samus costume, like fully functional with like blasters that open and close and stuff. Yeah.
Wait, so you just want armor? You want like space armor?
But no. But I want the. Oh my gosh, I forgot the name now. The Game Boy Advance version, the one you love, Jonathan.
Oh, Metroid Fusion.
Metroid. Yeah, that costume.
Fusion.
That's what I want.
The fusion suit. Hell yeah.
Yes.
That one is sick.
That would be sick.
Okay, and then Garrett also asked, what is your favorite and least favorite Halloween candy? Peterson, what's your favorite?
Okay, you're gonna hate my answer because I think I know what your answer is for least favorite.
Is it Almond Joy?
Almond Joy.
That's my least favorite.
Dude.
That's my favorite.
Dude, your least favorite is Tootsie Roll, I thought.
Favorite?
No, Almond Joy, if you stick it in the freezer for a little bit, Almond Joy is so good.
So here's the thing, though. Here's why. Do I think Almond Joy is the best candy that my kids will get on Halloween? No, but it is it's one of the like 3 things in their basket that I only eat on Halloween. I don't ever go buy an Almond Joy. I only eat it when it's in a mix in Halloween candy. And so that's why it's my favorite, because it's like a rarity. And so I got it. That's me and my wife pull out all the Almond Joys immediately out of their bag because that's the only time we ever eat them.
That's why my favorite is my favorite, though. I like Reese's. Would I ever buy a Reese's? Like, go out of my way? No. But when I got them, when I would pour out my my bag of like trick or treat candy, that was my favorite one. I don't know what it is. It's just like it's the seasonal candy. I never buy eggnog in July.
My seasonal candy is very similar, but I can't actually handle a full Reese's. It's just too much peanut butter for me. So mine's Reese's Pieces because it's Halloween colors too. So I cannot stop eating Reese's Pieces right now. I have a bag in front of me right now.
Oh my gosh.
They're just too good. But then I won't eat them again after October's over.
See, here's the difference between you and I, though, JD, because yours is Reese's, and you're like, oh, I'd never go buy a Reese's. My wife buys, I kid you not, at least one Reese's every time she goes to any store. She's obsessed with chocolate and peanut butter. Like, obsessed. If I'm like, oh, I want, and I don't love it that much. Like, I like it, but I don't love it. But if I'm like, oh, go to the grocery store and just pick, if you're going, just pick up some kind of treat. You know, it's always chocolate and peanut butter. And I'm, I don't want chocolate peanut butter. And she does not, she can't fathom that that's not the treat I want to eat.
Trev, what is your least favorite? No, now I have to know this.
Dude, my least favorite candy of all time, period, is Dots. I think.
Oh, really?
I think
crazy.
Dots
I
are the
love
most
Dots.
disgusting candy. They stick to your teeth, and they just the texture
is
of them
annoying.
is so foul to me.
So we're not going
Wow.
to get a Dots Crave cookie
Dude.
anytime soon?
I feel like I'm eating a flavored crayon when I eat a Dot.
Isn't that every kid's dream? You're like looking at the crayon, you're like, I love this color of blue.
You're gonna eat it
And
anyway.
you take a little bite and you're like, man, I wish this actually had flavor.
Might as well be flavored.
It tastes a little bit
Well, here, I
different
have
than the
some
red
Dots.
So Agrilord asked our next question on Discord. He says, my wife just started playing Untitled Goose Game and is really enjoying it. You guys got any suggestions of similar games she may enjoy on the Xbox or Switch? I have one that was kind of out there. I don't know.
Do it.
It might be into it, especially if she was into Crash Bandicoot, so she appreciates like a little bit of weird platforming. Lonely Mountains Downhill, which is on the Xbox Games Pass. I gave it a try. It's a downhill mountain bike. I wouldn't say sim. It's just a game where you like ride a mountain bike down a mountain and
Isn't
try
that one,
not
like,
to
really
eat
hard?
shit. I wouldn't say it's like really hard once you get like it's forgiving. Like, yeah, I crashed like 1,000 times the first time I played it, but then you like start to kind of pay attention. If she's played Crash Bandicoot, that was kind of a hard platformer. That wasn't an easy game. So I would recommend that. And then the other one, if you want a game that's less pressure, low pressure, silliness, Moving Out. We talked about it before. That's also on Game Pass, and you can play that together. But I think Moving Out's just like good for a goofy time. If that's like what she was enjoying about Untitled Goose Game, is that it's kind of lighthearted and goofy.
Yeah, on that same vein, I was going to say Overcooked. Just kind of similar, like casual fun. You can jump in and out pretty easily.
Yeah.
So I had a couple because he said she's playing the Switch, right? So first of all, the first part of your question is there anything similar to Untitled Goose Game? There's really not. That would really be similar to that, but there are some games that I think if you like Untitled Goose Game, you will like. And so the first one, it's a game I talked about this game a while back. It is called. I might have to edit this part out. I can't remember the name. Oh, SteamWorld Heist. So do you remember me talking about this one?
Yes, you loved that game.
Yes.
You
SteamWorld Heist. So much fun. It's so easy to jump into. You're playing as let's see, robots. All the SteamWorld games, you're playing as these robots. You're playing robots, pirates in space. And so you've got a spaceship that you're flying around, and you're invading other ships to go, destroy stuff. And you're taking turns. It's a 2D shooter game. All of your characters have a different type of gun, and you some of your guns can bounce off the walls, so you're angling shots in this 2D space. It's honestly so much fun. I enjoyed it from start to finish. It's not stressful at all. You die and it's like, all right, just redo it. Just play it again. No big deal. So I would recommend SteamWorld Heist because that game really just got me. That game was fantastic. So I think you would like that one. Check that one out.
Tight. Okay, so the next one's from Sneaky Stew, also in Discord. He says, "Man, this was a meaty question. Why do you enjoy video games, and what type of gamer are you?" I read a design article a few years ago about how there were different types of joy/fun associated with playing games. Some use it as an escape, while others have fun trying to master something difficult. It might purely be a social thing. No wrong answers. I'll go first, just because I love this question. I have the strange answer. I feel like I play games for every single reason you can think of. I was thinking like all the different games that I play, like it's such a variety, and I would attribute a lot of that to this podcast, actually, and how much time we spend playing a variety of different games, especially what Dice of Destiny forces us to do. But I love completing games. I love trying to get 100% on some games, some on others I don't really care about. I love exploring new types of games, like Untitled Goose Game was so unlike anything I've played. The Return of the Obra Dinn, similar thing, where it's just like these games that are so out there. I love playing those games as well to just see what people can come up with. I like playing games with friends. I like everything like compulsive building, like where Peterson and I compulsively build like a giant highway through Grounded, and it takes us like hours and hours. We haven't played Grounded for months, and that's just sitting there waiting for us, but like we spent a ton of time on it, and that was super satisfying. So like playing things as a time sink, or like storytelling things. So I do love the premise of the question. I feel like it made me realize that I'm kind of an odd duck in that like I really try to play games in every type of way just to like enjoy them in all these different formats. So I'm interested in what you guys have to say, though. Like, what kind of gamers you think you are?
Dude, I think mine
go ahead.
Is mine's very similar to yours. And I think the type of gamer I am is pretty strongly dictated by like where my mental state is at any given time. So like, right now my gaming is very much like a means of bonding with Annie. It's like baby falls asleep, we play games as like an escape for a little while to get away and just do something fun together since we can't get out of the house. But then I have certain types of games like MMOs, for example, are very much like okay, I'm a little bit tired of like work and grinding and doing all of that stuff. I would like to just be able to sit down and just like zone out for like 6 to 7 hour stretches and play an MMO and be like the best at something online where I'm with other people and stuff like that. So I think it's just very much dictated like by where I am on a day-to-day basis, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I love that.
And I think I'd say most people who play a lot of video games are kind of in that same boat. But if I had to peg myself as like, what is my primary type? So my personality is I just always want to have fun. And it's been like that my whole life. So everything's dictated by how much fun I am having or am able to have. And so video games for me are kind of an escape, I would say, just because it's something more fun to do, because that's really what I'm weighing it against. I could go to bed, I could watch TV, I could play video games, and video games win because they're the most fun. But what type of games I go to is I've always been attracted to like the fun of competition. Like my whole life, I played sports. I've always loved board games. And so now that there's so many video games where I get to play against other people, which is why I'm so sucked into Rocket League, why I'm so sucked into Warzone and Battle Royale games right now, because they're quick games like a board game where you jump in, you play one, and then you're done. That's what I have fun doing. I have fun in the competition. I'm not overly competitive. I don't get mad when I lose, but it's just the escape of like the challenge, the fun. I want to win. I don't like playing games. If there's a ranked mode, I don't want to play the unranked mode because I want it to mean something. And so for me, it's just all about having fun and it's that mental escape. I'm having fun and not thinking about anything else.
Dude, hell yeah. I like that. I actually would like to pose this question back to our Discord. If you guys jump in and tell us what kind of gamers you think you are. I think there are a lot of gamers that kind of focus on one genre or one type of game, and they would know kind of right off the top of their head. But I do think there's a growing, especially with services and things like Games Pass and Steam, that allow you to just try a ton of games for like a super cheap price. At EGS giving out free games. So I think more people are kind of expanding their gaming type, and maybe that's kind of a broader, just in general, everyone's getting a more broad experience. So that's kind of cool.
But I can tell you right now, I am not in the master something difficult category.
No.
That bounces me out of a game quicker than anything else.
No, I think Phil brought that up in terms of like roguelikes versus roguelites, in that like roguelikes typically require you to be really, really, really good at the loop versus like getting
lucky, getting stuff,
bonuses and stuff. And I prefer the other one because I don't want to work that hard.
I love that random chance. I love that random chance.
Just give me a huge build that I can just go stomp on all the bosses with. That's what I'm grinding for. Not to get better. Okay, so the next one came from Andrew on Twitter, and he asked, I keep looking at Xbox just because of your hype of indie games on the Game Pass. I also don't like playing PC. What should I do? He gave us a multiple choice. This is his multiple choice, right, Peterson?
Yeah, I didn't put this in there.
Okay, it's A, get an Xbox S. B, find a used or Black Friday deal for Xbox One. Or C, continue listening to us and keep getting the best ones on the Switch.
Real quick, I'm so sorry. Is Xbox S, is that Xbox Series X?
No.
Or is that the Xbox One S?
One S. I think he's saying one S there.
I thought he was saying the Series S.
Are you? Because I thought he was saying the Series S.
I hate Xbox.
Otherwise, I feel like it's the same as the second. I feel like if he was saying if he wasn't saying Series S, it's the same as question B. Because it would just be like, get question B, but not on sale, or get question B on sale.
This is the problem, Xbox. This is the problem.
He's def talking Series S. He's saying, get the new one or get a used one.
We are in-tune gamers talking to other in-tune gamers, and we are out of our depth here. We have no fucking idea what anyone's saying.
So get the Switch, because then we know what you're asking.
Yeah, just stick with the Switch, man. No, I would say to this question, if you're not looking at getting the Series X, which I will say one more time, and maybe this will change, so no one bank on this, but that $35 a month deal where you own it in 2 years and you get Xbox Game Pass and all that other shit for 2 years, I still think that's kind of nice. But if you actually want to own it outright, I bet Black Friday for either the Xbox One S or the Xbox One X, I bet they have some Black Friday deals that are absolutely absurd, considering they're trying to dump inventory before the Series X.
Yeah.
Before the Xbox Series X comes out, they're trying to get rid of all the Xbox One X and S's. Shit. Oh my god. Dude. So just wait for Black Friday. Just wait for Black Friday. Do get an Xbox though. I do think if you don't like playing games on PC, Peterson has this theory, and Peterson just say it. So we have a timestamp.
Here's my prediction. I have a prediction that within the next year, Xbox Game Pass will be on the Switch. The Switch will offer Game Pass service for whatever, $10 a month or whatever it is.
I can see it. For a limited catalog, limited library.
I mean, obviously, you couldn't have the full library because not every game is on the Switch.
Right.
But it would still be a big library is the thing. It would still be a good library.
Be a different library.
Especially those indie games. So that's my prediction. I say... I want to say keep getting indies on the Switch because but the Switch is harder to find them, and I'm a big fan, and plus we're being sponsored by Microsoft, so I have to say Game Pass, it's the best deal in gaming if you want to play indies, every big indie that you want to play will be on Game Pass. I can promise you that within a year of its release. And so that's what makes it hard, because I want to buy these games, and then 4 months later it's on Game Pass after I buy it. But if you've got the cash, if you don't mind throwing down the cash, I'm with JD. Pick up an Xbox.
You should have Xbox. You should have Game Pass. Like everyone, no one should be missing out on this right now. This is like when I told people to get Netflix back in like 2011. It's like you should have this. It's an incredible service. That was back when it cost like $6, and you could get the DVDs too. It was unbelievable. So it's like you got to get in on this now. And the Xboxes are cheap. So yeah, check that out. Okay, so our next one comes to us from Guri Circa on Discord, and they asked, what crazy cookie would you want Trent to masterfully make and sell in the store? He said there's 3 things you can put in it. So, Peterson, go first, because I'm pretty sure we might have a similar cookie.
I don't know if we do. So the 3 things really put me there. So I want you to make a Tres Leches cookie. And here's how you do it. Here's how I imagine. Have you ever had Tres Leches cake before, by the way?
Yes.
It is the only cake to eat. All cake is garbage. Tres Leches is the only one. And you'll never change my mind.
It's just so good and soggy.
So here's what you do. And that's the key. For Tres Leches, it has to be wet. And so what you do, you get the cookie. It's I don't know, you can do whatever you want with the dough. I was just thinking regular sugar cookie dough, because you're going to put traditionally Tres Leches has let's see, whole milk, whipped cream. It actually has 4: whipped cream, sweetened condensed milk, and evaporated milk. So you're going to use, which one's thicker, the evaporated or I think it's the evaporated.
Sweetened condensed is pretty thick. I don't know.
I think evaporated is like caramely almost, though. I can't remember. But one of the real thick one between the two, you're going to even condense. It would need to be condensed down a little bit, because that's going to be in the cookie itself. And so it'll have to be really thick, almost like a caramel. And then on the top, you would have to do some sort of milky, sweet milk frosting, or just whipped cream. But here's the kicker. You serve this with a little ramekin of sweetened condensed milk, right?
Or do you dip it?
You pour it on top before you eat it. This thing needs to be soaking.
I like
if
this.
you've had good Tres Leches, it is like when you cut a piece out of the cake, you take a piece out, and then where that piece was fills in with some liquid. That's a good Tres Leches. So you need to pour it all over the top of this cookie. You're eating it with a fork. And, dude, that's what I want. I want a Tres Leches cookie. I want it to be wet, and I want it to be so milky.
Dude, and that answers my question, because I've actually had this conversation with Annie about how to do it. And I'm like, but I feel like I don't know how to keep it soggy without it just getting gross.
Yeah, you got to serve it with a little ramekin of pour it on top.
Oh my goodness. I guess you could just get one of those little plastic cups with a lid.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Just a little plastic ramekin.
Like right? Pour your own little guy. Dude, I love that. So mine's a lot less fancy. This is just the coffee cookie.
Fancy.
Yes. Okay, here we go.
So the 3 things you put in this is you put in instant coffee crystals, because I figured out that's how you can make a cookie dough.
Do you put it in the dough, or do you put it on top, like sprinkle it on top? No,
you put them in the dough, and then they bake. They like dissolve in the dough, and then they bake out, and then you end up with like a coffee dough. Perfect. And then I was like, okay, so a coffee cookie, I don't want it to be I don't want too much shit in it. I was like, I just kind of want it to be simple and basic. And then I was kind of thinking about the Twix cookie that Trent has that's filled with caramel. So I was like, just give me a coffee cookie filled with caramel, and then a little bit of white chocolate drizzle to make it a Crave classic. So you just have like it's like a mocha. It's like a mocha caramel latte cookie. It's the caramel latte. That's what it is.
Dude, and that is spot on, because that's so my other Trent cookie idea that I want him to make so badly is the coffee one. I was thinking a coffee icing, But I like, because the other thing, whenever when I go to like a place where they make your ice cream and mix in stuff, I always get whatever their coffee ice cream is with Heath, which is toffee, Heath and caramel, right? And it's just the perfect combination. So yeah, my only iteration on that would be sprinkle some crunched Heath bars up on top. And dude, I'm telling you, it would be phenomenal.
Dude, I like that. I like the crunched Heath bar edition too. That sounds good.
Let's give it a little texture.
Okay. Okay, so the next one is from Straws Does on Discord, and they
You have 1 week, Trent.
You have 1 week. They always say that. You have 1 week. If you pick one of our cookies, you have to call it either the JD or the Peterson, though. No battle. You can't call it the Jaderson.
You can't call it like the caramel frappuccino or whatever.
Yeah, something that would sell the cookie. No, fuck that. JD. You call it the JD, and everyone's like, "What's on the JD?" You're like, "Just order it and find out." The last time I did that, you gave me a cup of Tres Leche just to pour on my cookie. What the fuck?
I was like, "What am I supposed to do with this? Do I drink it?"
So I just drank it like a sidecar.
And then the cookie was dry and gross.
Sidecar with your cookie.
That's exactly what you described as a cookie sidecar.
Dude, that's amazing.
Okay, so Strasdas on Discord asked, if you could have one person from the gaming industry or game journalism industry as a guest on the podcast, whom would you have on and why?
Oh, Brandon Sanderson.
So that you went so
no
far
hesitation.
outside like the
doesn't even matter if we're talking about video games
rules of this question.
He has definitely played video games before at some point.
Exactly.
And I
He's
know
definitely
he's
heard of video games. He knows what they are.
A video game is.
That's the only answer to this question that I could think of, because he's the only one. The only other answer I had was equally as not into, well, maybe even more into video gaming, but not, was Tony Hawk. Because I just think Tony Hawk
at least he
awesome.
is a video game.
Right, he is a video game. I just think he's awesome. He's a good dude. I would love to hang out with him and chat with him. And so, but is he in the gaming industry?
Well, yeah.
No, but his name is a video game.
More than Brandon Sanderson.
Okay, nobody's more than Brandon Sanderson, and I don't appreciate you saying that.
God. Anytime you can say Brandon Sanderson. My answer is I would like to have each year, if this is like a genie situation, I get to have on our Blursty winners each year.
Oh my gosh.
That's what I'd like to do, is I would like to invite our winners to the Blursties on a Zoom call or whatever and award them their Blursties. Randy Pitchford, whoever it's going to be, this friend from Google, whoever it is, I want them, Alex Hutchinson.
Yeah,
look,
Alex
I want
Hutchinson.
you on
Billy
the podcast. I want Billy McFarland on here accepting his award. Kim Jong-un, bro, you've got a worst launch mercy from 3 years ago, and you never collected it, but we still have it here. Your name's stamped on the placard. Like, come on, anytime.
This is a Borat situation, though. They do not know that.
They think they're winning a legit award.
Blitz.
Yeah, and then we just explained to them that they created the worst thing of the year, and then we just hit record. See what comes out.
I could care less.
Oh,
I could not care less what they say to us.
Mm-mm.
I just want them to say it. I want to hear them say.
Here's the thing: they can't even get mad at us. If you win a Blursty, it's not on us. That is a People's Choice Award.
You did this.
You can get mad at yourself. You can get mad at the concept of democracy, but you can't get mad at us. We've done no wrong. We simply nominated ideas. We're just putting things out there. We're just saying things.
I mean, granted,
just be grateful that you won an award.
That's right. You won something, so that's more than most people. You can't be mad at us, even though we probably talked so much crap about you on several episodes. But you can't be mad at us.
I just like this concept of anytime they're like, wait a sec. You invited me on here to make fun of me, and Trent just comes in and he's like, are you being ungrateful right now? Are you serious? Are you going to be like this? We have you on our podcast, and you're going to treat us with that
we can take that away.
Gratitude?
We could have given that to Riot Games. They have plenty others. They're already here. They're in the back waiting. You want us to just give your reward to them? Oh, so ungrateful.
Yeah, Riot is just always in the wings, just always waiting there, like rubbing their hands, like, oh man, maybe this is gonna happen.
They have a 3BG customer rep.
Yeah, here's the thing: if you're not getting blursies anymore, you're no one. Like, at least the people getting blursies are relevant. Riot Games, they're not even on the fucking radar right now. Get it together, Riot. You want another one on your trophy shelf? Like, you better get it together.
I don't know. When they do something bad, it is really bad. So I don't know if I want them to get it together.
Yeah, true. That's fair.
Wait, Trent, did you have one?
I'm just gonna go with Jonathan's. We can end on that. That was good.
Brandon Sanderson. Okay.
Yeah, yeah. Brandon Sanderson.
If you say his name
Next
3
question.
times, he appears. I think.
You have to be looking in a mirror, though.
I know you say you're like, well, I just keep saying it in the front of the mirror every night. Maybe it'll happen. I don't know. Call me superstitious.
My wife hates it.
Dude, I wonder if we can get Peterson like a cameo from Brandon Sanderson.
Oh my gosh.
That's your Christmas present.
Good luck.
Back when we were running the panel program for the Salt Lake Gaming Con, Peterson reached out to Sanderson's publicist to see if we could get him on a panel. And it was like, didn't even matter. Peterson's like, oh my God, I'm one step away. I talked to his publicist.
Mm-hmm.
They responded to my email. That's all he needed.
It was a solid no, but guess what?
A year.
He knows I exist now.
Yeah, and that is framed. That email printed out, framed right above Peterson's desk. Looking at it right now. So also Strauss has asked, because this is the Crave Cookie Cast. Here's the thing. Listen up, folks. We treat our sponsors well. We sell Game Pass like 6 times an episode. We sell Crave Cookies 6 times an episode. This is basically the sellout cast.
Microsoft Cookie Cast.
The Microsoft Cookie Cast.
Yeah.
So, and we treat them all equally. Like, Microsoft is sending us 6 figures. Trent's only sending us 4, but it's fine.
4 figures.
4 figures. What is the best cookie from Crave Cookies? Peterson, what's your favorite cookie?
How do you answer this question? That's like, what's your favorite?
I will answer this question.
I have a very hard time with this. I haven't had all of them.
Yeah,
but I will say the one that I want every time I go, we were just talking about this. Every time I go now, I want the Rockstar. It's just a good cookie, right? It's so solid, so good. Oh, man, it's sweet with those chocolatey bits, a little bit of crunch. I want the Rockstar every time. And Trent is sick of making it, but I don't care, Trent.
And it's not on the menu right now.
I'm going to submit an official complaint if you don't put it back on the menu.
I'm going to give you a bad Google review until you put it on the menu.
I was telling Peterson, I got a complaint like an hour ago about the Rockstar not being on the menu.
It was the Rockstar?
Because it's not on the menu yet.
Dude, that is so funny. What's funny about that is the Rockstar was my favorite. That would have been my answer all the way up until last week when I had the cookie that Trent brought back that I had forgotten he had, which was the classic sugar cookie. This is like a pink frosted sugar cookie, if you guys are familiar with it, where that old-fashioned one, there's like grandma's cookies or whatever. Oh, my God. And I forgot that Trent did one, and it is... I had one. I ordered it on Crave, and I didn't realize what it was. I was like, a sugar cookie. I actually thought it was going to be the coconut one. And then it showed up, and I was like, a pink sugar cookie. And I bit into it, and you know what? It was like that scene in Ratatouille when he has the ratatouille, and it like zooms into him in his childhood. And I just was transported back to my childhood when my mom used to take me to swim lessons to this sadist named Roger who would hold my head under the water until I'd blown the appropriate amount of bubbles. So basically, I got waterboarded, and that's how I learned how to fucking swim as a child. But my mom felt bad, so she'd take me to go get a pink cookie afterwards, and I was like, waterboarding, it's okay, because I got this pink cookie. So that's what I went back to, was this oh my God, it just the classic sugar cookie is just, I'm so glad you brought that back.
It's a classic.
That's what you should respond to that lady with, is just an email, just be like, have you had the classic sugar yet, lady? Come on. This next one is from Ash on Twitter.
Wait, can we ask Trent what's his favorite Crave cookie?
Oh yeah.
Dude, my favorite Crave cookie is the caramel apple pie. The caramel apple pie with like the scoop of vanilla ice cream. Yeah, that's my fave.
I haven't even had
is that the one with the Werther's caramel melted inside?
Yeah, dude, it's caramel apple flavored where there's caramel. So it's got like actual apple pie filling and oatmeal in the dough, and then it's filled with caramel. Is that coming back for Thanksgiving? Dude, it is. The thing though, I found this. We get this like caramel topping from a special supplier that tastes like melted sugar babies. And I can only get a certain amount of it, and that goes on top of it, and it's just so good.
What? It's like a limited edition rare ingredient cookie? What the?
Yeah, dude, we get enough to run it for like a week, and then the supplier's like, we can't get you anymore for 2 months, so we're waiting.
Oh my gosh.
What? Okay, now everyone needs to have this cookie.
I know,
okay.
Now I want it more. Screw you, Trent. Why did you do this to me?
Yeah, I'm actually really
now
mad
that's the
Peterson
only
asked.
cookie I want.
You shouldn't have asked him. He's this rare cookie that only I have eaten. It's made with the tears of orphans.
Like, I want orphan tear cookies. I
want that. It sounds so good. Yeah, it tastes like unfathomable sadness. I like that.
All right. So this next question comes from Ash, and she asked, "Are we for sure getting a JD cackle cast soon?"
So here's what happened. She mentioned on Twitter how much she loves JD's cackle. We've heard this lots of times. JD's cackle is a fan favorite.
I try not to get in my own head about laughing at this point.
I know he and now he thinks about it too much and it comes out weird. But
I end up laughing in front of the mirror like Joker, like just practicing them, trying not to cry.
And Jenna's like, "That's not the one, JD. That's not the one." And he's like, "I can't do it." So I made a joke. I was like, "Oh yeah, I should just do a whole episode of just JD laughing," and Ash is in. She wants this JD cackle cast. Here's the thing, Ash. Here's why you're not going to get it soon. And it's solely because I am too lazy to comb through all of the old episodes and pull out JD cackling every single time. That's a lot of listening time to get like even 30 minutes of JD cackling. Plus, I don't want to ruin the mystique behind the cackle. Is it going to happen? Is it not? I want you to be looking for it every episode.
Your seat with your ears open. Just to
Dude, I might have to do it now. I might have to go back through and just pull them all out. This sounds like a fun project for like a Saturday night.
Oh my God.
It would just, Annie comes in and you just have like a super clip of your friend's laughter just running at full volume, and you're just like deadpan staring at it. You're like, "Hey, hon, what you working on?" You're like, "Go back."
The lights are off.
Go back to bed. You don't want to know. Leave me.
To be honest, though, it wouldn't be as hard as I'm saying, because when JD cackles, it has a very distinct sound signature on his sound file. It's very loud, and it's like bam, 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 right at the top of that they all hit the top and the bottom. So I don't even have to
listen. I can just watch.
You could just find them. Like, honestly, you could probably go find them pretty easily.
Because of that, it does have a spike, but not as bad as when we very, very, very first started recording this podcast, and our first producer used to get mad at me for laughing into the mic. Like legit mad, because he was a legitimate radio professional and I was just a fucking clown, like a literal laughing clown, and he's like, "Don't laugh into the mic." So I've been getting better, you guys. Not much.
So much better.
Okay, let's see. LL Whoops asked a number of awesome questions on Discord, and
this is the LL Whoops segment of the episode.
Buckle up. I'm trying to figure out how, dude, you know what I want to start on? This was my favorite question. What games have you legit thought you were pro at? Then when you saw someone else play, realized you weren't as good as you thought? You guys go. This one's awesome.
Man, this has happened a number of times.
So much.
I don't know any game that I like wasn't actually as pro as I thought is the problem.
Okay. Wow.
This is why I don't
try to let you know when
not
the
much competition for me out there.
Champions League in every game, dude. It's
all pro.
Dude, I made gold. I made gold in HOTS, so whatever.
Yeah, that's legit.
So I used to think, here's the thing. The first time this happened to me was me playing Fiddlesticks in League of Legends. I thought I was one of the best Fiddlesticks around And here's the thing. I already thought I was kind of good. I was like, dude, I got this. I'm better than every other Fiddlesticks I ever play against. But then somebody did this, and I think they were just messing with my head, and is stuck with me ever since. I remember this guy in chat. He's like, dude, I heard you were one of the best Fiddlesticks in North America. And I was like, dude, that's legit. I know that's not true, but I kind of feel like it is. And then I saw some competitive play and realized I suck at this game. I don't know what I'm doing. I am a mediocre silver level at best. And it was...
You looked good to us when we first started playing. You looked like a pro.
Dude, that's the thing. I thought I was good. I thought I was good. And turns out I'm real mediocre at all games. And so it kind of is a hit to the old ego. But I mean, I didn't have that much of an ego to begin with. I'm pretty used to not being the best at any video game. So
that's how I am now. But for a while there, I got pretty stoked on myself, especially when I beat a game on the hardest difficulty, like Modern Warfare. And I was like, oh yeah, I beat it on veteran, and I beat the plane mission, and like, oh, it's so easy. But then you jump into the multiplayer and you're like, oh, none of that actually mattered. That's completely different. The other one that I had this on that was really bad was Gears of War. I played Gears of War 1. I beat that game probably a dozen times with my buddy Jeff. Like, we played it on the hardest difficulty just every time, just would whomp him. Part of that, though, was we knew like where they were all spawning. Like, it's a very linear campaign, and you can just like pretty much know exactly what you're doing in every part, every checkpoint. And so like we'd beaten that a million times. Then we got Gears of War 2, beat that a million times. Then I finally got Xbox Live and jumped on Gears of War 2 multiplayer for the first time. And dude, I don't think I got a kill ever. Like, people were like rolling, they'd like roll up to you and then quick scope you with a shotgun or a sniper before you even saw them, like, because they were like below you and you couldn't like respond in time. And this was just like everyone is just diving around, rolling around, like you could not keep up. It was just obscene. So whenever I switched, especially in the early games of Xbox 360, Xbox Live, whenever I switched from a single player to a multiplayer thinking I was way good at the game, and just like, oh shit, even Bioshock 2 had a dope multiplayer, and I thought I was really good at Bioshock. I played that game, it was like a Team Fortress style multiplayer.
Yeah.
Nope.
Dude, that actually reminded me of one I hadn't thought of for a long time. We played a lot of OG Fortnite, and in our earlier episodes we talk about it. Before Battle Royale was out, we played Fortnite together, and I played a lot. Shit. And like we were good at like building a cool base with all these traps. And then I the first game,
it took us hours.
I vividly remember my first game in the multiplayer. I was playing with Spencer, and I landed on top of a house, and I was like, "Oh, I'm going to use this house as cover to shoot." I see a guy coming at me. I mean, this is like day 1 or 2 of Fortnite Battle Royale, and I'm sitting there and I'm like hiding behind I'm on the roof of the house and the guy's on the other side, right? So I've got this perfect cover, and I pop my head up and he is building a base above me, and I was like, oh yeah, this game's not for me. I was so slow at building, I could not even understand how he was doing that so fast. And it was like 10 times slower than guys now. But that was when I was like, oh, I'm not good. I don't know anything about this game. I've put 100 hours into it and I suck. So freaking Fortnite. Trent, did you have anyone for this?
Dude, mine real short was Call of Duty, back when we used to play a lot of like the original Modern Warfare. And me and Jonathan and Jeff would play it a bunch online. And then I remember the very first time we had one of our friends from high school, his name was Chad Toinaka, come over to my house and play with us. And we just got crushed. Like, it was the most demoralizing, like, reality check for how bad I was at a video game ever. Mm-hmm. And I just never looked back. I never thought I was good at any video game ever again after that.
Dude, people got so effing good at that game. And they would just be like a random friend, and they'd be like, oh, you play Modern Warfare? You're like, yeah, I play Modern Warfare. Let's here, add me on Xbox Live. And they jump on, and you see they've prestiged 24 times, and they have badges
like,
next to their name.
15.
You didn't even know they existed, and they're using weapons that you didn't know were in the game, and you're like, oh, yeah, let's play. And then you look at them differently the next time you see them, because you're like, oh my God. Okay, so let's do another one from LL Whoops. He said, he asks, he said this would be a confessional, whether it be a team board party game or video game, please relate when you've screwed your team over on purpose just to troll them.
So, let's see.
I know Peterson has like a laundry list of these.
From back when we were playing a lot of MOBAs, I do have a handful, but there was a couple that I've recently done, and I wouldn't necessarily say it was a team game, but we had some family over last weekend, and they have a bunch of kids, and so all the kids and their dad hopped on to Among Us, which I've said I don't really enjoy this game. I don't think it's fun at all. But they're all playing Among Us, and I'm not playing. I'm like, I don't like it. I'm not playing, right? So they're all like on different devices, and so they keep saying out loud, they're telling everyone, okay, the room code is, and then they'd say the room code, and all the kids are trying to get it in. Well, I decide to download the game and to put in the room code, but not tell them that I'm in the game. And so they keep asking. So my son is obsessed. My oldest is obsessed with red pandas, so his name is Red Panda. And so I made my name Red Panda 2. And he was like, "Who's Red Panda 2?" I can hear him, and I'm just like sitting in the other room, acting like I'm not on my phone. And all I did was just follow him around the whole time. Which in that game, like, if you don't want someone to follow you around, like, you don't necessarily, it's good to not be alone, but also, like, if you're trying to do something, you want to be alone. And so I just followed him around the whole time. And every time we'd go to like the voting stage, it'd be like, it's red, because he was red. I was like, it's red, vote red, vote red. And I kept getting him voted off. And he was like, I don't know who this is, but please stop. This game isn't fun for me anymore. And I'm dying laughing. He goes downstairs, and then I go down there. I'm like, dude, what are you guys doing? He's like, I'm not playing anymore. We were playing Among Us, but I don't know who it is, but someone keeps trolling me, and I think it's one of Uncle Brian's brothers. And I was like, dude, it was me. And he got so mad at me, and I had zero remorse. I thought it was the funniest thing. The only way that game is fun is if I'm trolling my child. So,
dude, I honestly don't know that I've ever purposely trolled my own team, because it triggers me so bad personally. I can't. Dude,
that's how I am.
I can't do it, because when that behavior happens to me, I just don't find, like, I had a game. I was playing Watch Dogs with this guy, or he was just in my server, because in Watch Dogs, when you're playing it live, people can just like jump into your game and either run missions with you or just mess with you or try to kill you. And I played the whole game campaign through, and dozens of people played with me, and none of them tried to kill me except for this one dude. We were just like on a police rampage, just having fun, just killing cops and just like causing all sorts of mayhem on this bridge. And out of nowhere, he just started shooting me. So I like ran away, and then like he followed me and just like kept trying to kill me. And I was like, really, really bummed out by it. I just went to the menu and just like left the server, because I was like, this isn't fun.
Why?
Like, why would you? Why? Yeah. So I don't know. I do
like when it's an online video game, you don't even get to see the person's reaction. So what is the like motivator? Like, at least I got to go talk to Graham and be like, hey, I was me. And he was like, oh, Dad, and he's all mad. And like, I got some joy out of that, I guess. But like, you'd never get to see the person. I don't understand what the joy is in that.
Well, and the biggest trolling I ever experienced, that I've never since experienced any trolling of this magnitude in a video game, you guys probably know, is League of Legends. Like, League of Legends and MOBAs inherently just lend themselves to people who care way too damn much about the game, and then they, that just triggers inappropriate behavior. But when people would just like feed that is when they'd intentionally go die to the other team, so the other team would get stronger, so you'd be feeding the other team, it makes your team struggle against the other team, and you're just dying. I don't think I ever intentionally fed on the game. I don't think I ever did it. No, and even in like Clash Royale, which were like 2-minute MOBA battles, I never.
Oh, and trolled. I experience it all the time. I don't understand. Why are you even on? Just do something else. I don't get it.
Yeah, they're fun, dude. I don't get it.
Okay, so we've got one. Let's move on. We've got one from Phil. Phil asked on Discord. He said, "What are your thoughts on digital versus physical games? Do you prefer to buy one or the other, and why is that your choice?" I'll go first because mine's easy. I prefer physical games because I like sharing them. I like having them. I feel like I don't like having them on a digital marketplace, even though I do. I mean, I believe that they'll still be there later. I just would rather have them physically and be able to share them with people. If I have to buy digital games, I'm definitely not buying them on a service like Google. I'm definitely very cautious about who I buy games with. Like, yeah, I have a bunch of games on EGS that I've downloaded for free. Have I bought any games on EGS? No, I don't think I will. Not for a minute, because I don't know that they're going to stick around, just like Stadia. Like that library, when people who have invested money in it, when it goes away, poof, there it goes. Maybe they'll get a refund. Doubtful.
Nope.
So that's kind of, I'm a physical first kind of game.
Mine Trent, is, what about you? It depends on the game. So if it's a game that it's like part of my favorite series, like a Final Fantasy game or a Warcraft expansion or something like that, I want to get the physical copy purely from like a collector's standpoint. But any other game, I prefer almost exclusively digital, just because I'm really bad at misplacing them. And so if I don't have a digital copy, I'll just lose it.
Yeah.
So mine is not going to surprise anyone, I don't think. I prefer digital, and it is purely I understand what JD's saying and Trent's point, and I theoretically I like that, but you cannot underestimate my laziness. I hate owning a physical copy of a game, because then I have to, if I want to play it, I have to go put it in. I have to go get the disc, put it in the thing.
Oh my God.
Dude, I'm not kidding. This is like a totally mental thing. If I have to go get the disc and put it in, I'm just not going to play it. I'll just go play Rocket League or something. I don't know. I just don't want to go get the disc and do it. Is that wild or what? I don't know.
It kind of is. It kind of lends to the theory that the only reason Netflix took off is because people were too lazy to change out their discs on their Office DVDs. It's the exact same concept. So that's kind of it. That's the only reason Steam exists, is because people didn't want to click the disc drive and open it on their PCs.
And honestly, all my games for all my consoles are right there. I would just have to stand up, walk over, push the button, put it in, and then go sit back down. It would take me 15 seconds. But I'm just nah, I'm just going to go to my computer and play Rocket League. I don't know, man. The laziness factor, you cannot underestimate it.
Yeah.
So let's see. I think we have one more from, let's see. Well, we got one more from Paul Irwin from Facebook, but we're actually going a little bit long.
I don't think we have enough time. Yeah.
Dude, let's just do it next time. So, Paul, we'll just do yours next time. We'll just put it at the end of the next episode or something like that. So, we got to wrap it up.
Dice of Destiny.
All right, Dice of Destiny is this awesome little game we play at the end of every episode. We roll a 20-sided dice with 20 different game genres assigned to it. Then we roll a 6-sided dice to see how much money we can spend on it. And then finally, we roll another 6-sided dice to see who has to find a game in that genre for that price, pick it, play it, and review it. And a couple weeks back, I rolled a fighting game for $20 or less or something. And I ended up going with Streets of Rage 4, which is just so awesome. And so Peterson and I actually beat this a couple days ago. beat the whole like main campaign. And guys, this game is awesome. Streets of Rage 4 is the sequel. It's a follow-up to Streets of Rage 3, which I think came out in the 90s. And it still feels like a good old 90s beat 'em up with more forgiving checkpoints in some ways, kind of, actually. I'm not so sure. There were a couple of levels that were really effing long and really hard. And you had to like ration your lives. But for example, Peterson and I tried to beat this one level and this had this boss on it, and you had to go up an elevator, and it was this huge long fight, and it was super long and drawn out. And we died so much the game was like, hey, do you guys want to like share lives and maybe
do you
have another extra life?
Have more lives and just make you guys. It seems like you're dying a lot. You just want to beat the game.
Yeah.
And we
but
were
it
like,
wasn't,
yes, please.
But they didn't lower the difficulty. They just gave us a couple more lives and made it a little bit easier for us to like share our lives with each other. So it wasn't like it was too easy at any point. It was challenging throughout, and I liked that. But it wasn't like too punishing where I will say it kind of made my wrist sore because I was button mashing so hard at a couple points. But so the campaign is pretty short. I'd say probably 5 or 6 hours, Peterson, wouldn't you say?
Yeah. We beat it in 2 gaming sessions, and there was a few levels we had to do more than once. But yeah, it was 4 to 6 hours probably.
But there's a ton of replayability in it. Like we actually, and so the unlocks just come at a cost of a grind, essentially, because as you get more total points and you get more points for doing things like combos and killing guys and whatever, and so if you have high combos, you're better at the game and you're not getting hit, you're gonna grind that point score up higher. But as you get more points, you unlock new characters. And what was really cool is the art style in this game is almost like hand drawn. It's definitely more stylized. But we unlocked a 16-bit character from the original Streets of Rage, and it was like Peterson was playing it, and it moved clunkier and it moved different. Like it wasn't like hard to play, but it was very. It felt distinct.
Like I was playing an old version of the game while JD was, like jumping on people and flipping them over, and I'm just like walking around and like jump, punch, jump.
Yeah. It was so cool. And so I think there's a lot of replayability and things to unlock. And because it's on Game Pass, it's free, so it's like you might as well check it out. It was short, it was punchy, it was fun. If you guys ever played a beat 'em up on the SNES or the Genesis or any of these old systems and you liked them, like this is definitely a game that has adjusted to like the modern era and it's playable and still fun. It's not like stuck in the past. I think the latest what was that game that I think it was like Double Dragon maybe that they did a remake, and it was like too old and it was just like too authentic and it was kind of hard to play. I can't remember which one it is, but this one's good. So check out Streets of Rage 4 if you don't get it on Games Pass. I think it's like $15. Actually, let's see how much it is on Steam, because that will.
It was like 24 or something like that. It is genuinely worth a pickup. We had a lot of fun with it. I would say play it with somebody. Because we talked about this when we were done. It wouldn't be as fun by yourself. If you were playing by yourself, I don't think it'd be very fun. It was really fun.
I feel like that's pretty
to
true
just play
of that
together.
genre in general.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Yeah, spot on.
Oh, it is hand drawn. So yeah, the visuals are hand drawn. That's really slick. So I mean, it's a quality piece. It's $25 on Steam if you don't have Game Pass. I would say wait for a sale because it's so short. Unless you're into this type of genre, I would say wait for a sale or check it out on Games Pass. But even at like 15 to $20, I'd say this is a buy. 25 is just a little bit steep.
Yeah.
Okay, so that means we've got a re-roll. Peterson, you got a D20?
Yeah, let me grab it real quick. It's right behind me. There's a pile of dice.
Brag more. Get a 6-sided while you're there.
A huge pile of just immaculate dice.
Oh, I have all the
red,
dice.
Red
in
or
the
blue?
world.
Which one do you want? Red or blue?
Red.
Blue.
Come on. All right, I'm going blue because Trent said blue.
Yes. Oh, fuck you guys.
Okay, so we're rolling for genre first.
Yeah.
10?
10 is easy. 10 is a 2D. So any 2D game.
Oh, this will be nice.
I assume it could be top-down or it could be side-scrolling, just any 2D game.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah. And then roll for price.
Price, so we roll... I rolled a 5, so $50 or less.
Okay. If you find a $50 2D game, I will be very impressed.
Dang. And then the last roll is for which one of us is going to play this game and review it. So I will be 1-2, JD 3-4, Trent 5-6.
Yeah,
let's do it.
Okay. 5. Trent, you're up, buddy.
It's been a while.
It has been a while.
A 2D under $50. I'm on it.
Yeah, any 2D game that exists.
Awesome.
I think I can manage.
Dude, sweet.
Cool. Well, that does it for us this week. To play us out, we've got some music from Streets of Rage 4, which will sound like it's music from a Streets of Rage game. They nailed it on the music. I don't know, guys. It's so good. Definitely, you gotta play Streets of Rage. As always, you can find us on Twitter and Facebook or Patreon, and we also have a Discord that can be found via Twitter or Facebook or however you want to try to find it, whatever adventure you want to go on. Check us out on Discord. I'm JD, logging off.
This is Peterson going AFK.
And this is Trent signing out.
Peterson Productions. Oh, yeah.
This holiday season, the 3-Bit Gamer Show brings to you the Cackle Cast, with classics such as The Desk Slapper, Fakey Fakey, and who can forget the Low and Long? And turning it up. And a JD original, the Chuckle Bucket.
Dude.
And the Repeater.
A favorite crayon.
But no compilation is complete without the Drum Buster. And the instant classic, the Cackle. Order today, and we'll also throw in the exclusive Peterson and Trent laugh battle. And as a limited time bonus, we'll also throw in the Peterson and Danny duet. So order now, and you can cackle your way through the holidays.